All right, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host Tone Vays, coming to you live this Wednesday. What's today? October 20th, 21st, October 21st. Man, three price shows in a row. I wish I could have gotten you the stream a few hours ago, but I was on a different podcast. It wasn't live stream; it was recorded. I tweeted out the Zoom link. Anyone could have joined. Mostly talked about nutrition as we watched the price of Bitcoin go higher, higher, and higher. I will be joined by Ugly Old Goat in this stream. Got into a little chat with him this morning. I just sent him the link. He hasn't seen the link yet. I didn't want to just keep waiting. I wanted to start on time. I did not even have time to get like my tea or coffee. So maybe when Ugly gets here and he starts chatting, I could go and get a cup of tea in. All right, let's go. Let's look at the charts. Let's go straight to the charts. See what's going on. Probably be repeating myself once Ugly shows up. All right, here we go. Here is the weekly chart, and this is a monster breakout. This is reminiscent of so many things in the past, and it usually led to significant upside. This is what we call a true breakout candle. This is a weekly breakout candle. It broke prior resistance, but this is, you can think of this as a giant cup and handle. I don't really think it's a inverse head and shoulders, but it's the same concept. The breakout of this blue line is key, but the breakout of this purple line is even more key. There are some overbought metrics. The RSI will get into overbought territory fairly soon. A couple of weeks from now, the MACD has plenty of upside, and the CMF also has plenty of upside. So we will see where that goes. I don't know where he is. He hasn't seen my messages. Trying to get Ugly on the stream here. And I want to get his thoughts on this to see if he sees any backwardation or contango coming in here. Always forget which one's at the top, which one's at the bottom. No matter how many times I try to remind myself, I don't trade it enough to really remember. So anyway, the weekly chart. So this candle is a lot more sustainable than this candle was. I felt that this candle was not as sustainable as our current candle. I like the current position way more. So the current candle, I'm trying to find a good area where it reminds me of. We may have to go all the way back to the beginning of the last bull market. The current candle reminds me a little bit of this situation here. Reminds me of this breakout. We had these two ridiculous weeks leading to a weekly top that was similar to the prior all-time high, but just under it. So I am reminded of this area. So yes, we can top in the near future before breaking the new all-time high and then pull back and then have one more shot at the all-time high and then pull back again. Either way, this breakout reminds me a lot of this. Not so much this. I think this situation has already taken place. This was also closer to the halving. I do think we are more like this area here. This is our big breakout candle, and I think next week could actually be another big week. It's very possible for us to challenge 14,000 on this pulse move up, and that's approximately this area here. So that's definitely doable, considering we just moved like 1,000 this week, even more. How will we move this week? What was the open? Open was 11.5, and right now we are at 12.7. So we already moved over 1,000 this week alone. So that's impressive. Moving 1,000 points in a week. That doesn't happen very often. Happened here. Open 57, close 69. Happened here. 1,000 in a week. It'd be interesting once you start getting these $1,000 days or $3,000 days. I don't know why traders were shorting. I've been bullish. I'm looking at some of the comments here. If you guys saw these videos Monday, yesterday, with Willie Woo, with Phil, I was pretty bullish. PayPal released some news. I saw that. I read the article in Yahoo right before going on the show. I can't believe they mentioned Bcash. That's stupid. So the news is not very bullish to me because they're gonna accept what, Litecoin, Ethereum, Bcash, and Bitcoin. So that tells me that the people at PayPal aren't very smart, and that's not very bullish. It's not. I mean, you don't want idiots involved in Bitcoin. You really don't, because that doesn't help. That only creates bubbles and uncertainty. Like, this is what happens when you have stupid in the crypto space. You have the ICO bubble and then a 1.5 year correction. So reading that news tells me that the people in PayPal that are implementing this, they can't possibly be that bright if they're going to start accepting Bcash that's about to go through a hard fork next month. So what does that tell you about PayPal? It tells you that they don't actually know what they're doing. If you look at any company that is Bitcoin only, you realize real quick that the people at the top of that company and the engineers at that company are actually really, really knowledgeable and understand the space. But when you have, why aren't they accepting BSV? Why aren't they accepting, I don't know, Dogecoin? So that's the question you got to ask. Start messaging PayPal and ask them, why are they not accepting Doge? Why are they not accepting Ethereum Classic? I mean, if you're going to accept the shit coins, you might as well go all the way. You might as well be a shitcoin casino. So that's not very bullish for the space. It just means that you have more incompetence and more irrationality going in. I don't think PayPal is going to hold your private keys. I don't think they would do that. They would either immediately sell your crypto through a partner, whether that partner is Coinbase or Gemini or whoever. They will. I think they will either sell that Bitcoin immediately through a partner, and the merchant receives the fiat money, or they will build a system to allow the merchant to receive the crypto directly. And let that merge. I don't think they want to be responsible. I mean, it's possible they can hold your private keys for you, but I don't think they want to get into that business. It's possible, but again, that would be more stupidity on PayPal, because now they need to hire engineers to understand how to protect different cryptos, which is not great. They would also have to run an Ethereum node if they're going to start processing Ethereum transactions, and they'll realize real quick how intensive it is to run an affiliate node. So once again, here's the weekly chart, and we're just getting started. We're not in a rush here to top. The weekly chart is just getting bullish. We had that green star here, so we have several more weeks of potential upside. I still see this as going higher. The weekly chart is very bullish, full-blown bullish on the weekly. Let's go to the daily. So people asked a couple of days ago, well, Tone, what if we complete the MRI prior to this resistance line? And I said, if we complete the MRI trend, into an MRI top, I was fully expecting us to be above this resistance line, and all we have to do is close above 12,000. That's today in about 9 hours, and I'm pretty certain we're going to do that. I'm not. Here's the big difference between current candle and candles past. See, this candle broke out a little bit, like it was really on the back end of this move that never got a full chance to properly consolidate, even though there was a little bit of an ascending triangle. And when it broke out, I was obviously expecting a little more upside. You can tell by this arrow. But it ended up consolidating at a little bit lower area. But here's the big difference. I do not see the current candle as being reminiscent of the candles here that led to 14,000. These were pretty nasty on a weekly scale right there. Huge reversals, huge wicks at the top. I'm not looking for that. The current candle is more like this candle here, this breakout here. That should lead to more upside. Momentum should carry it a little bit. I can see people FOMOing in. Also, from the moving average perspective, everything is bullish. Look at your moving averages. Your 50, your 128, and your 200. They're bullish, all above each other and trending to the upside. Wonder if Ugly's here. Ugly's here. I'm gonna let him set up and then we'll get Ugly in. So whenever you're ready, just say something. But this candle is beautiful. We still have half a day to go. Can we go up to 13, break 13,000 and then fall back down to 12.3? It's possible, but I think we're gonna break both of these, the resistance line and the breakout line. So here's my line in the sand. If we close today below 12,300, I would consider that a concern. Yep, I hear you, Ugly. We're going to get Ugly's take in a minute. But if we go higher, if we break 13,000 today, I can actually slide this line up. So for every, I would say 200 points we go higher, I slide this up 100. So if we go up 400 more, if we go to, let's say, 13.3, 13.4 today, even today, which is possible because this is some major FOMO going on, then we would need to close above 12.5 in order for me to stay fully bullish. One last chart before we jump in with Ugly. The 4-hour chart is a concern. You have a warning on the MRI and you have the end of extension C. There's also another extension C in the background. There's several extension Cs in the background because they've been hanging out since probably all the way up there. So as you can see, we've had extension Cs for a while. We completed, I'm actually only looking at extension C. There's probably more. Yeah, I'm only looking at extension C. You can look at all of them. There should be extensions in the back.
So how do we get out?
Besides C. Once it loads, there they are. So there are extensions in the background and they're going to be ending, but it is a point of concern on a 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart, possible we have seen the top. So most likely this is the top for the day. Probably. I can't possibly know that. But this has been a big run up. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do end up pulling back to the $12,000 area over the next 24 to 48 hours before one more push at 13,000. But I would not be buying right now. The time to buy was this weekend. And even when people asked me yesterday, I tried to answer it as best I could without providing trading advice. But I kept saying, I'm still bullish. I'm still bullish. But now that we've come within a spitting distance of 13,000, this is not the time to buy. This is not the time to FOMO. This is the time to stay patient, admit you missed the move, and wait for a better trade. Even if that trade comes at a higher price, it could still be a better trade. Just like those that missed the $7,000 and $8,000 pullbacks could have gone in at around 10, 11. You could have gone in the break of these highs. If I go back to the daily chart, to me, since I did not get my move down to this 10.9 area to buy, my buying opportunity came back here at 11.5. But now I wouldn't chase it. All right. On this note, I'm going to bring Ugly on. Ugly, here's your Twitter profile. You had some good guests on lately. Unfortunately, I still have to catch up on your podcast. You had Sunny Ray on, old friend of mine, spoke at his conferences. You had someone from the Liquid Network on, I believe. I know you've been talking a lot about exchanges lately. So guys, please go to Ugly's. Check out Ugly's Twitter. Check out Ugly's website. You can get to Ugly's website through my affiliate page as well. There he is right there. You are an active trader. You preach sound money management. You try to get people to dollar cost average unless they really know what they're doing in trading. So these are your links. They are in the video description. And now I'm going to stop the screen share. Hey, Ugly, it's been a while since you've been on my show, man. How's everything?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I just want to correct something. Sunny Ray is going to be on with us at 11, and Juan Galt's going to be interviewing. I'm just going to be there, plodding along and showing up. But yeah, that's today after you're done. So if people want to see that, and he's really, a Bitcoin standard bearer hero. This guy has he's fought the system in India and won. I'm not hearing you. Are we okay?
Wait. No, we're good.
Okay. So everybody heard what I said. Yeah. So we're going to be on with Sunny Ray at 11. So I was actually going to prepare for that, but you invited me on, and this couldn't be a better time. So yeah, it's really, we caught this move. It was the volatility went way down. We took out the 2-week high. We held it, and now we're on our way up. And there's just no way of knowing, is this the big one? I don't know. Nobody knows. But yeah, this is a great time, that I was able to build a substantial position just here in the last few weeks. And we ran about 0.6 Bitcoin up to over 8 today. I think we're 9 temporarily, but it's a good time, to trim a little bit. Now, we don't know. I have no idea, where it's going. And so as a good trader, you have to let the profits ride. If you miss out, don't fall for the FOMO. You don't have to be afraid of missing out. If you're a trader, you're going to miss out on a lot of moves, and that's hard. You have to overcome those kind of things, and it all boils down to your equity and your risk. And if you can manage that, you're going to do just fine in trading. But most people don't have it right, so it takes a while. Wow, is that a Donald Trump hat in the back of that? What?
No, that's a Donald Trump wig, because so in the background are all elements of the thumbnails that Rusty's been making for me. Me playing a guitar, me burning aliens, me my likeness over Donald Trump's head. So all of those little you see the hyperwave book back there. Yeah, we got all of the little elements from my other.
Have you put on that wig yet? I'd love to see with that. Have you done that?
Yeah, it's in the thumbnails. I gotta get an actual Trump wig. Me and my black beard walking around. Going to
if you sell them, I'll buy one. How's that?
Yeah.
Although I'm a natural blonde naturally.
So I actually wore my Make Bitcoin Great Again hat that looks just like Make America Great Again hat to the polling booth in the last election. So we'll see how this election goes.
Oh, wow.
People are getting beat up. Like Trump supporters are literally getting beat up, man. It's bad.
Okay. Well, it's very strange days that we're looking at. And, I hate to see what's going on physically, but I don't know that there's any alternative. And we're kind of all socialists now because, everybody's behind the bailout. And I guess it's better to bail out individual citizens than it is a select few. But it scares me to death because you know what? If they can put money in your bank account and in your, they can take it out just as well. And so I have for the first time because of all this stuff, I'm very afraid of not just Bitcoin exchanges, but all the legacy exchanges. And if you have all of your assets tied up in real estate and a retirement fund, you're a sitting duck. I don't think that the new confiscation will not be gold because gold's spread around. People have possession of gold, and the risk is if you're sitting there and most of your wealth is tied up in your house and your retirement fund, you're a sitting duck for confiscation because as they can give you wealth, they can take it away just as quickly. And so I'm if you have too much in there, you might want to really consider, liquidating, pay the tax on that IRA, whatever, and get it out of there. Because if they can give you stimulus, they can stimulate the other way. We saw it done in Cyprus. And, they could just overnight announce, well, all of the legacy accounts are taking a 30% haircut over $100,000 or something. I'm not predicting that, but that's a very real risk. And so you need to look at your own portfolio and figure out, wow, how much am I exposed here? That's my view.
Yeah. So I used to have that fear maybe 5-7 years ago when I continued reading all of these gloom and doomers. I really don't right now. So I am going to disagree with Ugly on this. I don't believe they're going to go after people's retirement funds. I don't believe that they will. I think they are too busy going after AML KYC stuff. I think they are going to be too busy going after, wealth and rich people, raise taxes on collectibles, raise real estate. I don't think they're going to take away money from people's retirement accounts. I don't currently see. I'm with you. Gold is not going to be confiscated or banned because no one has gold. So they don't really have much choice. I mean, what they've proven this year more than anything is the fact that if they can just print 22% of all money in circulation, why are taxes even being collected? So so this creates a serious problem that I don't know if you saw the tweet by 50 Cent, who saw the numbers from Biden's tax plan, and he's like, vote Trump, this is insane. So here, that's the problem. So I think the government is getting ready to just print. Historically, they have always taken away wealth from people. But this time around, they're proving it even to themselves that they don't need to confiscate the wealth if they can just print it. And I guess the reason for confiscating, though, even the fear of confiscating people's wealth was to prevent potential inflation from the printing. But now, because of all the printing, an attempt to confiscate people's money now is going to end very badly and probably will end in a serious revolution.
Yeah, well, this is not a prediction, and I hope nobody construed it as that. It's kind of just a warning because what I'm saying is it is a sitting duck. And I think that this COVID and this bailout to everyone is making that clear. So basically my recommendation is basically buy Bitcoin. That's number one. You need to have 5% of your wealth in Bitcoin and you're going to be pretty well protected. I like a little higher percent of at least 15%. I don't have any problem with 50%. But I think if you're sitting here and you're listening to this for the first time and all of your wealth is tied up in your house, in your retirement fund, then you should, at the very least, make that movement. I mean, watch Michael Saylor and their reasoning behind it, and the way. I mean, he had to make a large purchase, and it took him months to get all the legal work, the AML, KYC stuff done, and then it took him another 6 weeks to actually execute the trade, without revealing his hand. So, if you're sitting there and it's just good money management not to have all your stuff tied up in legacy accounts right now. That's my belief. And they're sitting ducks, and I hope it never happens, but it's vulnerable, and that's the risk that you take. So as long as you can afford that risk and you understand it, hey, it's okay. That's fine.
Yeah. So, hey, I remember very clearly the stream that you and I did in the summer of 2019, just as this candle was ending, as this ridiculous reversal shooting star candle. Well, actually, I'm sorry, not it was ending, like right near the top. I remember that because I even did like a 2-minute summary clip. And at this time, when this was happening, you and I were both very concerned that not only because the way this went up and because of the backwardation that took place right at the top, where traders on futures exchanges could sell their Bitcoin for $800 higher than the current price.
Yeah, but your contango is not backwardation.
Sorry, contango, my bad. I always get those backwards.
I
the contango that was taking place there, which you were trading, and we both, we were both concerned that because of the way this went down, there was a possibility that Bitcoin not only could get back to 3,000, but could actually get below 3,000. Now that didn't come true. We got into the $3,000 range, but we didn't break the lows. But the way price behaved right here was very concerning to both of us. And now we are in a situation where we are at the same exact price as back when you and I did that video before. But now it is nothing like that. And it's actually pretty damn bullish this time.
Oh, it's real bullish in my mind, because you are not, the futures have not gone into a contango, and don't look like they're anywhere near close to doing it. Now, there's two reasons for that. Number one is the very real exchange risk because of what's going on, with the CFTC and DOJ and all that stuff, and the Bitcoin exchanges. That's number one. But that's not alone. You were in a trading range, and the open interest drop, which just is always a very classical signal that a bull move is coming. And we are not going into that contango this time. And so, and the funding is still nothing. So basically, to buy the, and I think people just forget how. I mean, I kind of did an exercise to my followers, because a lot of these guys are a lot better at analysis and TA and fundamentals than I am. But now imagine if we go to $20,000, what should the contango be? If we go to 30,000, what should the contango be? If we go to 50,000, what should the contango be? And the fact that it goes to extremes then later on sets it up to go into the backwardization. And it's a terrible timing mechanism. You can't time things off of backwardization and contango, but it does give you warning signals. And for example, on the Black Thursday or Saturday, whenever it was, I thought it was the 11th. I guess it was the 13th. I was actually a buyer because we were in a big backwardization. And I bought it over. Yeah, I bought it over 5,000. I figured I was home free and put on a pretty big position and got wrecked. And we all went to the doctor. I think we had COVID then. I'm not sure. We never got, but we all came back, and there it was, sitting under 3,900 and a $1,500 backwardization. And fortunately, I immediately when I get wrecked, I just send some more, not as much, I send less on the exchange, but I use that and bought that bottom. And, so you have, it's rough. I mean, these things, they get overdone. And so you need to that's why it's really, you got to learn to play these major trends. And that's why you have that hollow. You know, how many people, you know, when we were going up there in 2000 and what was it, 17, we had the major move came from 7,500 to over 20,000, and it was only 2 weeks. But if you got out before that, you missed, you know, the blow off. And you've got to catch these, you know, that's why you have to let your, you know, you got to figure out how to let your winners ride. And it's hard to do. I mean, hodling is easy to talk about, but it's not easy. You have to have discipline and you have to weather the storms. And that's when you get the reward. So, and, you know, we don't know where it's going from here, but right now, you know, all signals are this is a pretty legitimate breakout on the upside.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still bullish across the higher level time frames, but not so much the lower ones. So on the lower level time frame, in about 27 minutes, which is what I will have to get off the podcast because I have something going on then. I think we will top on the 4-hour scale. I haven't even looked at the 1-hour scale yet. Let's see what that looks like.
Yeah, I trimmed on this rally and I just sold some more. But I just trimmed. I mean, I'm a little bit short now, the perp against my long futures, and we may or may not get the break. But you know, my core position, I'm still there, and you know, that's I do teach not just trend following, but also trimming, which I didn't know there was a term for it until I read The Art of Execution. I said, oh, I've always done that. So if you don't know what trimming is, there's a little book out there called The Art of Execution. I think it's 10 or 20 bucks. It's a classic. It's just it's a guy that manages funds and for billions of dollars, and he just analyzed all the people that are winning traders and what they all had in common. And it's a pretty amazing book because they all they know how to ride their winners. They know how to ride a winning horse, and they know how to take a profit along the way. And that's the key to trading.
Yeah. So the hourly chart still has a little bit of room, maybe. But this was a huge hour. The 10 a.m. hour was huge. We opened the candle at right at just under 12,005, and we went all the way to 12,850. So this is a $400 hour from open to the high. And I'm not surprised we're taking a little bit of a pullback here. So I think Bitcoin is really strong. Like a logical place for it to pull back on the hourly chart would probably be back to this area here, 12,300. I think that's reasonable. But I don't think this will hold it back for long. Even if the 4-hour and the 1-hour do pull back, the daily and the...
We just wrecked a lot of people and they got stopped out. We ran through a lot of stops on this move.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why so many people were short. Like it's this is like there are no metrics are overbought right now. Like I don't understand it. But at the same time, I would have said it's not really like hindsight analysis. At the same time, I wasn't exactly expecting a big drop off of this candle either. The August 17th breakout from what looked to me like an ascending triangle. I mean, I believe these things are accurate 60-70% of the time. So that means that 30% of the time they're not going to be accurate. So to me, this was a legitimate breakout that did not lead to any upside, but we didn't like crash down. You had time, even like right here, you should realize that, hey, you know, we're not actually going higher before any kind of significant drops were happening. But just like I would not be short here, I would not be short anywhere here. I mean, I still think this has more upside. Maybe not today, but over the next week or two, I'm still looking for more upside. I think 14,000 is now in sight.
Yeah, frankly, you know, I've got a position on and I'll be trading against it to some degree, but there's no reason to even think we're close to, you know, any core position, I'm not, I'm going to stay with the core position. We just never know. These people that are predicting, all-time highs or 100,000 Bitcoin or whatever, if they're right, we got to, we have to get there. And we don't know how it's going to do it. So, that's why you hodl, guys, and just trade a little bit of that hodl, but you can do quite well, with proper risk management, just risking a little bit of that hodl, and, play the trends and play the swings and learn money management. That's what I teach. I'm not very good at the TA or fundamentals. I'm good at the fundamentals of Bitcoin is because it's one of the few markets where you can actually learn the fundamentals and without having to know the back end of how the technology works. But economically, it's sound money. And so that's the future. If you haven't made the transition yet, you need to start.
So even the BitMax funding rate is still favoring the bulls, which is unheard of considering how much we just went up. Now, I don't know how much stock we can put into this indicator going forward, considering how much value has left that exchange. But the RSI is the daily RSI is the only one swinging into overbought territory, but that means nothing because it can stay in the overbought territory for as long as it wants to. I just don't see any case for a pullback right now on a daily or weekly scale, just hourly scales.
No. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people, my followers, they were going to buy it if it broke down this week. And at the time, I said, well, yeah, but what happens if it doesn't? So you can't anticipate something is going to happen. You just can't, because most of the time, it's not, the markets don't do what we want. It's just going to do what it does.
Oh, people are saying November 2017 all over again. No. This is definitely not November 2017 all over again. For November 2017 to happen, we would need, let's say, Bitcoin price going up $2,000-$3,000 in a single day, because that's how November 2017 was.
It has to be in the contract highs too, guys. We still have to get that all-time high hurdle.
Yeah, we're not even close. Okay, so we do have a couple of questions from the audience, a couple of comments. People really wish Tyler Jenks was alive to see this breakout. I think he would be, because we just broke his, that $10,000, $11,000 resistance that he was talking about for years. And we're cleared all of that. So I think Tyler would be more bullish than any of us right now based on his long-term views of Bitcoin.
Yeah, I agree. He was very fundamentally bullish, and he laid out the fundamental case, and he also laid out the TA case based on hyperwave, which I think is a very legitimate way, particularly if you're fundamentally sound in a market, then the hyperwave is going to happen. So I think that the biggest difference with Tyler is that he identifies it technically, and it has to meet all these factors. And I mean, he's right. I don't know how he would interpret this if this is the beginning of a hyperwave or not. I don't know if he would have to go to all-time highs first before it's really considered one. But he outlined. I mean, he was one that taught me we have to scrape the barnacles off the ship. I think that's another really important thing you need to be looking at, Tone, right now. If you can pull up the chart of Bitcoin versus Ethereum, if you notice and I don't know about all the other alts, but I know that's one position I've had on is I'm long Bitcoin and short Ethereum, and it's just been working like gangbusters. And usually it doesn't work on an up market. This is a market where Bitcoin is leading the way, and at best, Ethereum is following.
Interesting. Hold on, I'm having trouble opening up new charts. Let me restart this.
Yeah, I think it's ETH, BTC.
No, I know, but I have it like pre-saved. That's why. So first thing I want to do is I want to look at Bitcoin dominance.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I'm also gonna look at.
There you go.
You want me to look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin?
Yeah, because that's the biggest. That's still the biggest one. But the Bitcoin dominance is fine too. It's just, we all know it's not really very.
Okay, so
good.
I have it. The last time I looked at this was April 29th. I love the TradingView blockchain, which is actually more immutable than the Ethereum blockchain. And it tells me exactly what the last date I looked at it was. And it was back in April. That's the last time why did I copy that link? That's the last time I looked at that chart. Okay, let's look at full Bitcoin dominance first. So Bitcoin dominance took a little bit of a nosedive. I am on record saying that I expected Bitcoin dominance to approach 80% this year. And clearly I was very, very wrong, as Bitcoin dominance has fallen since the start of this year, as it began the year at about 68. And it is currently sitting at 62. But the way it rose in the last couple of weeks, if Bitcoin keeps pumping, it's possible it can separate, but that's a little bit unfortunate. Bitcoin versus Ethereum. As you guys know, I hate Ethereum. I think it is one of the reasons why this space is a borderline laughingstock. And one of the main reasons.
Well, not to us who are serious students. You're the teacher. We're just a little students of you. You taught me a lot of fundamentals, Tone. I wouldn't, and you've given me a lot of encouragement. So don't self-deprecate yourself, because a lot of us think a whole lot of you.
Look, Ethereum is on its last leg. Because if the price of Ethereum comes back down when this DeFi stupid blows over, Ethereum will be back where it belongs at under 0.02. And the next time it breaks that line, Ethereum's in serious trouble. Look, if Ethereum is to succeed, it needs to do better than Bitcoin. And Ethereum's price versus Bitcoin is where it was in February of 2016. So that's exactly where it is. So that's Ethereum is actually lower than its high in February 2016. So that, and it just recently benefited from the stupid of DeFi pumping up Ethereum and locking up Ethereum. So it's on a downtrend. That's a weekly scale, daily scale. It is definitely bearish on a daily scale. That is a horrible looking pattern that just broke down. So that is definitely calling for more downside as we broke this candle yesterday, the break of this support. So that's pretty bad.
Rinse and repeat. We're looking at it in terms of Bitcoin, not the US dollar. So the US dollar become more and more meaningless, and it's going to be this kind of relationship that's going to become more and more important.
Right. So at the least, you're looking for more downside for Ethereum from a TA perspective, down to about 0.0227 to 28-ish. So that's where it's showing you. But you got an MRI bottom coming in on Friday, so that could slow the bleeding a little bit. But yeah, okay, we got a little bit of other questions. So Olga asks, what do you think, is it Bitcoin pump or manipulation? I do not think there is any manipulation in Bitcoin going on right now. Now, before everyone gets their like ridiculous tinfoil hats on, we have to define manipulation. There is a long-term evil plan on a big scale. And then there is picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. Now, the manipulation that takes place in skimming pennies is happening in all markets all of the time. All the time. Is someone cheating on a $10 move of Bitcoin? Yes. But is someone cheating on a $1,000 move of Bitcoin? And the answer is no. The answer is hell no. I believe this is completely natural forces Are bad actors stepping in front of other traders and picking up an extra few dollars here and there? Are people with a lot of money putting in leverage bets on the derivatives exchanges and maybe moving the price of the underlying by a few $100? Maybe, but it's happening in both directions all the time. And that manipulation does not alter Bitcoin's ultimate path on a weekly scale chart. And on a weekly scale chart, I believe there is no manipulation taking place in Bitcoin. Ugly, your thoughts?
Well, I think the latest example, if you have not heard, I think it was Pomp's interview with Michael Taylor. That's just so classic because he outlined, how they had to enter the market with that kind of money, with $250 million. And they weren't just buying, they were buying and selling. They were working that market. I'm sure it was over multiple exchanges because that's the way you have to do it. And that's the way markets work, guys. And you have a great advantage as being a small trader or a small speculative trader. You don't have those entry and exit problems that you have if you're managing a large fund. So there's not, and I think that particularly now there's no manipulation because I don't really consider it manipulation. What's going on now is there's no hedging. It's strong hands. The people that would normally hedge, there's no financial incentive for them to, because the futures are not going into a contango. The contango is very, very reasonable in here. And so, unless you see that thing rising, and the problem is, as the market rises, that contango, it can stretch out farther than whoever thought we'd see a contango of, 2 or 3 months out of $2,000 to $3,000. And that's what you saw in 2017. The futures markets actually went $2,000 to $3,000 over the spot market. And so, like I say, the why, and that kind of, and then you had the same phenomena, I think, last year, which I wrote about, because the same thing happened in June of last year. And that's a fundamental situation. There's no, markets can still going up, but people that are buying the market and paying that huge premium are coming out of the chute at a huge disadvantage. And a hedger, I mean, back then, as I wrote, a hedger, a producer could hedge just a small part of their operation, and they assured their profits for the coming year. And that, I know that was what was being done, because you can't be a successful long-term miner unless you figured out how to use the markets to hedge at the right time. And that's what happened. And those that were hedged, they didn't really have to worry about the down market that we had until we had the ultimate crash back there when we had the COVID blowout on the downside.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. We got some other really good questions coming in. People are asking, do you think it will ever go below 10,000 again? And I really wanted to wait till the end of the month to answer that question. But to me, it really feels like the chances of spending any significant time below 10,000 is very small. Is it possible there is, the Mt. Gox trustee decides to sell all of the Bitcoin and it crashes down to 9,000? It's possible, but it's not going to stay there for very long. So I just don't see like the bet that I made early, like last December, that Bitcoin won't spend more than 90 days above 10,000, the bet that I just lost this past weekend. I would take the opposite side. I would say Bitcoin, I don't expect Bitcoin to spend more than 30 days below 10,000 ever again.
Yeah, if we do it, it's going to be a spike down. It'll be, like I said, maybe a black swan event in the shitcoin markets could take it down there, particularly if we get over speculation. But we don't have over speculation in Bitcoin right now. It's just there's no evidence of it. It's no evidence that this is not. When we had those exchange problems from the CFTC and the Department of Justice, people exited the markets in droves, and so the speculative element is just not there. It's not in this market. I think it's going to come back. Yeah, it's going to come back when we figure out, this thing, we're going to survive this thing. I'm fairly certain of that. And then I think these markets will come back with a vengeance. So you got to just wait and be patient. You just got to, wait and see what's going to happen. And there'll be a day, yeah, it's going to get overbought, but we're not anywhere close to that now.
Another question asks about Bitcoin's fundamentals. For Bitcoin's fundamentals, please refer to, also check out the affiliate page, but please refer to my blog, tonevays.com blog. What is crypto decentralization and why Bitcoin stands alone? Everything you need to learn about Bitcoin's fundamentals is in this article, and the links referenced in this article, including a very extensive reference page right here. Some of them are long research papers, others are books, others are short articles. Everything you need to learn about Bitcoin's fundamentals is right here on one post. Everything you need to know is here, including numerous posts as to why proof of stake is one of the dumbest computer science projects ever invented, which was invented long before Vitalik Buterin was born. So
I want to recommend this to everybody because, Tony, you've really done a thorough out. I learned my fundamentals from you on Bitcoin. And the only thing I write about is I write about the fundamentals apart from Bitcoin. That I can really understand. And I just go back. It's kind of real simple. I go back to my original mentor, who was E.C. Harwood, and he says he outlined it with the three greatest swindles of all time. And that's inflation, the Social Security, which is basically entitlement, and the SEC, or regulation. And that's what holds true today. Now, those are fundamentals that are outside of the back end fundamentals is what Tone has here. And if you want to do a deep dive, this is the place to go.
And by the way, if we take that concept and we do the three biggest swindles in the crypto space, one of them is proof of stake. That's a top three swindle. Just like
inflation,
like inflation, right? Exactly. Like, Ugly, you and I should write a piece, like to mimic that. The top three swindles in the crypto space, and one of them is proof of stake, and and the other one is this notion that you need a decentralized global computer. I'm sorry, guys, we don't have the ability to do that. Like, it's not going to work. It's not going to function. We don't have unlimited resources. We don't have unlimited, like, it feels like you have unlimited storage with YouTube providing you all the space for YouTube videos. But even creating YouTube videos is not as exponential as the data on top of Ethereum if it starts to run the world. Like a lot of these things, they're unsustainable exponential growth models in computer science that people just don't understand, can't function. And this is why people continue to believe in Ethereum. Anyway, we have another question. Well, actually, no, it's the same question. A Bitcoin network is not a general purpose computer. That is correct, because Satoshi Nakamoto and the early programmers of Bitcoin understand that Bitcoin should not be a general purpose computer. Maybe one day it has a chance. Maybe when we advance Bitcoin to the point where there are these side chains that rely on Bitcoin as a backbone that can service as many computers. Like, you can't have one computer running the world. Like, you're not going to be able to pull that off. I don't think. Maybe one day we will. But trust me, and Vitalik is not the man to do it, which is why, and neither is any of the other blockchain projects. It's the most secure blockchain.
I think the Wizard of Oz did it once, but
yeah. It's the most secure blockchain network in the world, but it can't do general purpose computing. Yes, there is a reason for that. That is not a bug. That is not a downfall of Bitcoin. That was smart engineering, the realization that it won't succeed as a general purpose computer, not in our lifetime, maybe in 40 years. Maybe there needs to be an evolution of the Bitcoin blockchain to something at a different level of knowledge and computer science. This is why all of these other projects are going to fail one by one, and they are already failing. Just some of them are taking longer to do because enough people just don't care to destroy them. Anyway, the PayPal news. Apparently, PayPal You can only hold crypto that you buy in your account. You will not be able to transfer to other accounts. So again, this is what I said earlier, the stupidity of PayPal. When I read the article, they're going to open themselves up to Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. And that's basically stupidity because none of those other projects actually matter. People think that Ethereum matters, but it won't in the future. But now I'm reading this saying that you won't be able to transfer it, which sounds insane because the entire business of PayPal is to transfer money. And yet they don't want to actually do the job that they have been doing for the last 20 years and do something stupid. It really makes me question the upper level management of PayPal.
Well, they are severely regulated too. I mean, down here in Mexico, my wife has an account and you can't even maintain it has to be tied to a bank, and you cannot maintain an account on PayPal. It has to go back. Every transaction has to be run through the bank.
Wait, why? For you in Mexico?
Yes, yeah. Every transaction, you cannot have a PayPal balance anymore. They took that away.
Wow, because for me it's the opposite right now. I'm actually I'm having trouble connecting my bank account to my business PayPal account, so all the money is kind of there.
Yeah, and I could work with that. I'm almost at the point where I don't even want I just don't want PayPal. Plus the fees are very, very high down here, much higher than the US.
Yeah, the fees suck. I pay 5% on I pay 5% on all my PayPal transactions. And but like, what's the alternative right now? No one wants to pay in Bitcoin. I don't blame them. I don't accept your shit coins, and no one wants to pay in Bitcoin. So almost all of the money coming in, and it's not a lot these days. Like all my businesses, everyone's just paying in dollars, and I'm using PayPal. I guess I can switch to other means, but PayPal does have the best APIs and it's the easiest one to implement. So I accept credit card payments and PayPal directly. And almost everyone pays in fiat. No one wants to spend their Bitcoin. I don't blame them. And this is where Roger Ver continues to, like, when is he going to learn? Like, you can't force your will on what people should spend.
It's pushing, they call that pushing the string. There's actually an economic term for that, and yeah, you can't push the string when it comes to, and you know what, cash is something people get rid of anyway. Gold was used as cash only one time that I'm aware of, and that was in modern history, and that was in California during the California gold rush, because it was plentiful and everything else was dear.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm still on screen share. Let's go back to the price and see what's going on. So again, here's the 4-hour chart. And I think we're a little toppy here. I would be surprised if we make another high today. I think we're going to take a little bit of a breather here, regroup, and come back later in the week, probably into the weekend. I can see a lot of buying coming in Friday afternoon. People want to take their weekend off. Bitcoin tends to rise over the weekends from what I've noticed lately, especially on Saturdays. Oh, there it is. Shit, that's also my cue. We got to wrap this up, guys. I need to, I have a task I need to attend to. We have 1,200 live viewers. I want to glance. The gold was breaking out today as well. So look at the gold breakout. I've been waiting for this. I've been bullish gold over the last few weeks, and I'm still bullish gold. And I also said the S&P was kind of gonna hang in there. I think this is a really weird election. Ugly, you and I should do another show going into the election, because you've seen more U.S. elections than anyone that's ever been on this channel. So I'd love to talk to you about some of that stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember Truman, but I remember Eisenhower. I do remember Truman, but not as president.
Yeah, so those could be some good conversations there. And that's pretty much it. Final look with our 1,200 viewers. I am very bullish on a weekly scale. I am very bullish on a daily scale, but short term, 4 hour, 1 hour, we are toppy here. We are a little overextended. I would be surprised if we break this high today, but I would not be surprised if we break it tomorrow. Still bullish overall. I wouldn't rush in right now. If you didn't have your buys in, I guess try to buy the dip, stay patient. And that's my only advice. And since Ugly is with me, Ugly, unfortunately, the financial summit in Bali is being moved by a year. We will try to maybe do something closer to home, closer to the US, maybe, but it looks like people keep asking me about wave 2 of COVID, and my answer is I don't see a medical wave 2 of COVID, but I certainly see a media wave 2 and 3 and 4 and 18 of COVID. It's like Fast and the Furious. It's like it'll never end. So there you go. And of course, the Understanding Bitcoin, which hopefully Ugly will come and visit us in Malta as well in September 2021. And the first event that should happen is Unconfiscatable in Las Vegas, scheduled for April, but until election comes, there's no way we're going to put the tickets on sale because who the hell knows what's going to happen after the election. All right, guys. That has to be it. I'll let Ugly say his goodbyes. I stopped screen share. I was going to show his website one more time. So sorry, we'll go back to screen share. Here is Ugly's website. You can, if you're going to sign up for his newsletter, please use the affiliate code. It'll save you 15% on Ugly's newsletter. And check out his website. Check out his Medium articles, which hopefully will just be on his website for simplicity. And here is his Twitter. His next interview is coming up at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So in about 2 hours with Sonny Ray. Please tell him I said hi. Sonny and I go a long way back. Sonny's great. I'm going to try and get him for Unconfiscatable. I should probably let him know.
Please do. Please do. I got a special, I think I got to consult with you, but I think we might have a special surprise for him. I think he's a candidate. What do you think?
Yeah, he's up there considering what happened in India. Yeah. I think so. I think so. It'll be a little bit of a surprise dark horse there, but yeah, I think so. All right, Ugly, say your goodbyes, and I got to wrap it up.
All right, thank you for having me on, Tone. Hey, we're having the Baja 1000 down here, so
when is that? When is that?
What day is that? It's the week of the 20th. Actually, the race is actually the Saturday after the 20th. Let me look at my calendar, see what they.
Wait, today's the 20th.
No, November.
Oh, November.
Yeah. So let me see.
I don't know. Thanksgiving is kind of a family time. If it can be before Thanksgiving.
It's the 21st. So the 20th and 21st, and I actually, yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I see that for wait, that is before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is the 27th.
Before Thanksgiving, yeah.
Beautiful. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what?
I got two racers down here. We can go. We got our own race cars.
Maybe. I'll keep it in mind. If I can make it, I'll consider it.
Oh, all right. Well, you have an invitation. We're going to be here.
All right,
and
cool.
It's a lot of fun. All right.
Hey,
thanks for having me on, guys. And
thank you for joining. Listening. Thank you for watching, everyone. Please like, please subscribe. We're back to breaking 1,000 live viewers. This is what happened when Bitcoin. This is what happens when Bitcoin's mooning. Thanks, guys. I'll let us
save and build. Okay, we'll see you.
Bye, guys.